They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was
every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Term is 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
You know we're going to start with the mess, right?
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
I'm over here playing. You already know what we'll do. We'll shut shit. Hold on 1 second. I got to make sure I give my proper shout out. This shout out is going to be to Austin Walker. Austin Walker is a comic out here in Atlanta, and I went to his show, and he funny as all hell. And y'all know I like Kendrick Lamar. So if I get a copyright, I'm going to take this off. But this is going to be for you guys. Every time we kick Tiffany ass, we're going to celebrate like this, okay?
Hey, everybody clap your hands. They not like us. I took a pocket for. Hey, they not like us. I took a pocket to pay. Take it for. Hey, you a rapper, young whippersnapper. You ain't been through nothing. Have you ever had to leave the studio? Cause you should have got low. I got gout in my pinky toe. Hey, did you hear what I said? I took a pocket to pop. I got gout in my pinky toe. You a rapper, young whippersnapper. You can't beat me. I got.
All right. So every time we get a win, y'all, this is for my, we kept talking about the seniors. We got something straight for you. They ain't like y'all. These young whippersnappers ain't like y'all because y'all out there making changes. Y'all been out there standing strong and y'all been behaving. I haven't seen any of y'all going off, so I had to put that out there. So.
Hey, everybody clap your hands. They not like us. I took a pocket for. Hey, they not like us. I took a pocket to pay. Take it for. Hey.
Hit the like button if you like it. You already know I'm going to always find something good and funny for you guys. If you like it, I'm going to play it again on our next live, okay? Let's get it because they not like us. Chicka baka, chicka bag. Old head shit, some old head shit. All right, shout out to one of my favorite comics out here in Atlanta, Austin Walker. He's funny as all hell. Okay, they had us crammed in this little ass comedy show. I was a little tight and bougie, but he had me laughing. I couldn't even be mad. That we were so tight in that place. You know, I got to talk shit, but he was funny as hell, and the whole lineup was amazing. So shout out to him. Now, before we got 20 minutes before the meeting start, and I'm keeping my eye on. Hold on 1 second. Critical Smoker. He stated he's gonna be there, so we definitely keep our eye on his page, a few other people pages as well. You know what we do. Shout out to everyone who let Grace Levi use your content. You know, I always put your information down there, tell people to go down there. You know, even if you want to watch the live there and come back, you're welcome to do that. Now, what we're gonna go over, just a short recap of Big Woody's Barbecue LLC versus Keith Freeman and Tiffany Henyard. But Keith Freeman named there first. I gotta talk shit. They not like us. Let me stop. All right, now this is just a flashback on Big Woods, and then I'm gonna give you an update of where they're at, because they actually had an update that took place today, years old, 2/11/225. And then the other case, I'm gonna give you an update on took place on 220. Damn, I'm sorry, 211. We're 2/11/25. I do apologize. They like 225, 2/11/25. So just to give you a quick flashback, this is Big Woods Barbecue LLC, Dwayne Woods versus Keith Freeman, Tiffany Henyard, Village of Dolton. Village of Dolton and trustees, they like no relation. No relation. All right, so the factual allegations here. Basically, at all times, let's talk about Big Woods Barbecue was the rightful tenant of the property. They talked about it was on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Martin Luther King Drive in Dolton. And I think I showed you that. I'm going to put that video in the end when we upload it so you can see the full read, because at that time I went to the location on a map and we saw how big the parking area was. And I think this was the one that was kind of directly across the street from Dolton Village Hall, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So in addition, this is what happened to him. Though he had a business license, Tiffany Henyard in the Village harassed the plaintiff by putting up no parking signs on Martin Drive, Chicago Drive, though it was a state highway. So they were putting up no stopping sign on parking to impede people from coming to his location. In addition, the Village was ticketing patrons and Woods in the effort to harass and interfere with his business. Tiffany Dwayne Woods met Keith Freeman in mid-2023 regarding plans to continue his business, of which his business license was lingering. So you know how Tiffany do. We heard what she was doing with St. Patrick's, and even after contempt, she allegedly tried to find a way not to sign it for whatever reason. But you already heard in the last meeting that they addressed that. So do keep in mind that they addressed these lawsuits. And when we talk about the other lawsuit, they're going to mention something about that, or this one, if I'm not mistaken. So in and about April 2023, defendant Keith Freeman and Dwayne Woods will get his business license shortly. So Keith Freeman told him directly that he will be getting his business license. In early 2023, the plaintiff was shut down by Tiffany, refusing to approve the license. So shortly after that, the same MO. Inspections was held by Kim Austin. So I'm going to have to write that name down because it's standing out. Just like I was like, who is Janice Johnson? Today's going to be the day that I say, who is Kim Austin? Because Kim Austin may be involved in more than one lawsuit, because it sounds familiar to me. Now I'm saying it because her name sounds familiar. Yeah, she's probably one of the people that definitely have to go, because we know what's going on in Dolton allegedly. People are still trying to obstruct, allegedly, according to what I believe, after the Lori Lightfoot almost findings. Not her fault. Moving forward, plaintiff again sought to obtain his business license in November 2023 for the Limited Liability Corporation. He had been operating and was told his license was coming shortly. In February 2024, plaintiff received his license for 2023. And this is where they caught him slipping, because in 2024, February, 1 month after the new year started, and I mentioned this before, if they gave him 2023, what did they have to do with 24? He was still active. But I thought he may have thought that was like, okay, everything is good. I'm going to be all right. They're working on it. They don't take that long to get business license. You print the paper and you put it in the system. How about that? You do your paperwork right. I do my paperwork right. We put it in, pay they fees, and keep things up to date. The plaintiff bought inventory and proceeded to continue to operate his business with that license. So then Dwayne Woods and Big Wood Kitchen were previously informed that Tiffany Henyard that he was on the wrong team again. Supporting individuals who did not recall who did the recall against her. So you remember that? And if I'm remembering properly, somebody mentioned that they had catered for the trustees or something like that, or cheese with the trustees, something to that nature, which made this type of stuff happen. In March 2024, Williams Moore, he was officially fired. I had to say that in the fired voice. Officially fired. Village of Dolton informed Dwayne Woods that his business license was being revoked. That's her pocketbook man, remember? I don't got a picture of him right now, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The plaintiff was informed that he cannot have his license. So he had the 2023. They told him that he couldn't get 2024. The plaintiff had done everything the Village of Dolton requested. The village failed to give the plaintiff proper notice of the revocation of his license. The defendant failed to prosecute the plaintiff for the violation. So you know what he was supposed to do? They were supposed to tell him what he violated, allow him to respond. If they would have revoked it, he could have had a hearing. Again, he probably would have been faced with Delgado and his friend like they did before. I think they did that with Pablo's and revoked his license anyway. But you know what I'm saying. At least this due process part wouldn't have been added on it. But it's added on it because that didn't happen. So the decision denied plaintiff his business license, resulting in the result of his political alliance. I do apologize. There was no justification bias to revoke his license. The Fourth Amendment was violated. I'm kind of trying to move through this so we could get to the update because I know the meeting is going to be started. The action of the defendant constitutes the violence plaintiff of the due process. So remember, I told you he's supposed to have the due process. He also has the right to have his own political feelings and not be sought against, especially with his business. So tortious interference, and that's what we're talking about, count 2 right there. Malign policy, this is one of the things that is just basic, where they're just connecting the parties to the institution or the government facility. That facility is the Village of Dolton. So you're going to see, and I think is in this claim where they kind of say it's monotonous to do that because they already charge each party. But we're going to listen to their response because in this particular one, they have a status update, and then they have another thing. Let's get to it. Okay. So his license was denied and ignored or revoked because they did not financially benefit Tiffany Henyard individually and or spoke out in support of her adversaries' trustees. So we remember that. Now, what they did here was amazing because in this one, they cited the other cases, and these are some of the cases that we went over. So, Pablo's Cafe, and that's what we're going to actually do the update for tonight. Lacey's Place, LLC. I got to look to see where we're at with that. Redeemed Church. I'm going to look up to see where we're at with that because we read that. George Towing Inc. We read that one. We're going to get into that. Ruckus Holden, I know that's settled. That's been settled a while ago. Ensom is still in court right now. These are all the ones that have to do with businesses. And that's just freaking ridiculous. What I'm going to do is take a quick screenshot, y'all, because I want to make sure that I update you guys on these cases, all of them, because I read all of these already. We're just giving y'all updates of what's going on. So this next count was in defamation. So it says the plaintiff alleges everything that they have alleged earlier, and it's Tiffany Henyard is or was an employee of the Village of Dolton, acting within the scope of the employment and committed to misconduct described therein. Keith Freeman or and was employed, again, disconnecting them to the facility and their employment commitments, okay, and not doing what they're supposed to do. Breach of contract. Now, I would assume this has to do with the verbal contract that they gave them, and also the intended contract would, in my opinion, be his application, and them not denying it and doing a formal denial through way of a hearing. That is a formal contract. I would assume that the judge will look at that, when it comes to those type of hearings. You see what I'm saying? If they denied it, then that is saying that established of the first part of the contract, him trying to apply for the license is not adequate, and that is their response to the contract. So this is why I say breach of contract, because I don't think they had a direct contract with Keith Freeman and Tiffany Henyard per se. That has to do with the application. That's why I just broke that down when they say breach of contract. All right. So it says the plaintiff hereby alleges everything that we talked about for several months, and the plaintiff was supplied catering food for tea for trustees. Yes, my memory served me right. The village refused to pay through several trustees, acknowledged the debt in several village meetings. So these are one of the vendors that didn't get paid. The village acknowledged the debt. The plaintiff kept trying to get paid. On July 18, 2024, plaintiff was given a check dated August 7th. So they gave a check that was dated for a couple of days, 2 weeks after. And the check was dated I'm sorry. I did the same thing I did before. They gave him a check from 2023. Let me correct that. On July 18th, 2024, the plaintiff, this is the Village of Dolton, gave them a check from August 7th, 2023. So the check was dated a year early, which caused the check to be expired. Those are probably some of the checks that was sitting on the desk, and somebody with a slick ass, I'm going to just say that, just had the FU face, was like, just give them this to shut them up for a second. This broad, she had to do it. I'm just blaming her. That's fucked up. Okay, so this is what happened. So this was his demand. He's asking for $8,910 plus prejudgment interest, attorney fees. Plaintiff entitled to attorney fees, anything that in the summary. I'm just trying to sum it up so we can move on to the next thing, because the meeting should be starting soon. Now let's just get to the update. So we got a background on what it was, all the things that they did. Keith Freeman was involved, and we're going to be looking now for Kim Austin. She's officially fired, y'all. I fired her. But this is the update. Y'all know Delgado. Now, Delgado was on a certain cases. I think Delgado just on the cases he could get paid for or whatever. These ones that have to do with businesses and things, it seems like he pulled himself the hell out of them. All right, so this person is not Delgado. This is the Lynn Weber and Daffodil. Remember I read that before? I was messing up their name. That attorney's office, that Michael Shalaika. Okay. We went over this. Remember, I was like, who was their mystery lawyers? On my thumbnail was a mystery lawyer there. We're going to put that there. We talked about them. That's the ones that showed up. And you know who this is? These are the people that was just lying. I'm just putting it together. The ones who said that it was a knife at the fight, that's the lawyers. There they go. These are the lawyers that's defending her. So right now, this is Thomas Lynn Weber and Michael Chicago. This is their motion to withdraw as counsel. So Delgado already withdrew. They're withdrawing from this. I don't know what's going on, and we're about to see a bunch of them withdrew, or this could be a strategy to keep these cases prolonged. Let's keep this in mind. as long as you have a counsel backing up or backing out in particular hearings, the judge usually give them a little bit more time to reevaluate the case, get to know what's going on, because it's new counsel and things like that, and everybody has to be made aware, and it just prolongs the case. So I think that's what's actually happening, because I'm starting to see a pattern here. But again, that's a strategy that people can use that are guilty, that feel like they're guilty, but that costs a lot of money. And the lawyers are the ones that reap the benefit of that. And guess who's paying these lawyers? So on December 11, 2024, Thomas Lynn Weber and Michael Shakila filed their appearance on behalf of Keith Freeman. It says defendant Freeman will continue to represent by the attorney Shane Barwell and Riley Olson, who have entered in this case. So these two moved out, and Olson is still Riley Brooke Alston. We're going to figure out who. They just switching lawyers like this. And they all know each other. So this lawyer has backed out. Okay. And what they have done, and just the last filing was actually today, 2/11/2025, the judge has accepted this filing. So we're just going to read that, and then we're going to start looking for what's going on. Do we have anyone live right now? Because they should be live, starting to be live for the Thornton meeting. And you know, my favorite resident, you know what to do, because I'll be sometimes not finding them. So let me just read this real quick. The hell is this? Why is it William Moore named in this now? All right, somebody messed up the filing. Is William Moore and Keith Freeman named in the same thing? Y'all see that? The names changed? I ain't tripping. I'm on tab. What the hell? They just do anything. Look at that. So William Moore is named in this. Let's just flash back to the other document I just showed you, because it's the same case number. And this will get people so confused if you don't pay attention to case numbers. Because here it says Big Woods Barbecue LLC and Dwayne Woods, plaintiff versus Keith Freeman and Tiffany Henyard. And this is in regards to the same case number, 11776. And then I'm just showing y'all it's the same thing. When y'all look through these documents, don't get yourself confused. Find a baseline, which is the docket number, and you'll be able to keep track, because it be so many human errors, and it's ridiculous because they want us to be perfect. You want us to be perfect, but you're not. So here we go. This is the same one. So I would assume it's Keith Freeman and William Moore named in this, because he was named in the proceedings as I was talking, because he the one that said, you can't get your license. It's revoked. Your ass revoked. Over there, yeah, permanent volunteer. So Thomas, this was the motion to withdraw counsel. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Let me show you this one. This is the last one. I apologize. I just wanted to go through that because I had to double check. Was I okay? What, did I see it right? Is this it? All right. So they accepted it as of today, 2/11/2025. Notification of docket entry. Okay. So this is the update with Big Woody's Barbecue. Entry before the Honorable Judge Leslie Jenkins. The status hearing was held. The motion to withdraw the counsel is granted. Attorney Thomas Lynn Weber and Michael Shakila are terminated as counsel for the defendant Freeman, for the reasons stated in the open court. So we don't have the transcript, so we don't know the reasons because it's not on here. Plaintiff oral motion is extending time for service on remaining to defendant. So you see they need extended time again, as I just mentioned. Service shall completed by April 11th. This is still going to be going. So whoever's coming into this administration in Dolton is going to be receiving a lot of these lawsuits, and they still going to be clearing these out for good cause and show. The defendant village oral motion to extend the time and file responsibly pleaded is granted. By February 18, 2025, the party shall confer regarding service. So they got a service by the 18th again, reservice. You see how I'm saying it again? This is a flaw to make these cases extend, in my opinion. By March 17, 2025, the party shall submit the proposed briefing schedule on the forthcoming motion to dismiss. Initial writing discovery requests may be issued by April 21st. Any amended to the pleading may be by December 19th, 2025. Any amendment to the pleading must be made by December 19th, 2025. I am sorry, Big Wood. You're going to be going through this for a long time. Did they say December 2025? Hell to the yes, yes. Yes. This is disgusting. And guess who has to pay for it? The backs of the residents. The backs of the residents. They do. Because Tiffany may be out, but guess what? These lawyers still going to have to be paid. They are still going to have to be paid. All right. So that's the one update. Now but I did want to address I Am. Kurt just said that he served her paper bond, Dwayne Woods barbecue. We just went over that. And what he served was just basically a notice that two of the lawyers have pulled themselves off of the case. They have bought more time for them when it comes to this barbecue hut. As I read to you guys, they have up to December 2025 to make any amendments to their complaints. They have a hearing in April for the barbecue hut. So this was basically a readdress, notification of the parties of the change. Again, I believe that Tiffany's side was buying time with that as lawyer who lied and said that there were knives there. And that's why Miss Roberts made it her business to reiterate the common sense approach. Someone said one of the people in Tiffany camp hands was cut. If I did not hear that right, if somebody listened to what the lawyer has said. And if you listen to Debt Free Dad, he made a video and he's a lawyer. And he made a video basically talking about the probability of a knife being grabbed, used, and people being cut. And the probability that the person with the knife will usually have cuts on their hand. Now, if I remember, and y'all remember, they were saying that people in Tiffany camp got cut, this, that, and the third. We ain't see no blood, no nothing. But if you commence to say that you had cuts on your hand, according to Debt Free Dad, which makes sense, your ass may have been the one with the knife. And we just gonna leave it like that. They just lie. She knows she a liar, okay? Super liar, Tiff. Super liar. Who's that? Let's not call her out. I was looking for now I ain't gonna say her name. I was looking for it, and then my favorite resident was like, she ain't nowhere but on her YouTube page making 11-hour videos. I was like, oh my God, I thought Trina was chilling. I was making 11-hour videos. So that was the update about the barbecue hut. We're gonna keep our eye on that. That's gonna be long after Tiffany get the hell out of there. As I mentioned, people are gonna have to be dealing with that. That's how a meeting should go. Exactly. This meeting, I'm going to introduce you guys to one of our new theme songs. And we're going to give a shout out to one of my favorite comedians in ATL Dog. His ass be acting up. So Mr. Austin Walker, let's play his recreation. Hopefully, if I get copyright, I'm going to take it off. But let's play his recreation of Kendrick Lamar actual concert yesterday. Let's play it. He the shit. You got to give it to these ATL. We got some damn skills out here. Check them out.
Hey, I'm back, y'all. Hey, They not like us. I took a pocket to pocket to put. Hey, they not like us. I took a pocket to pay. Take it for. Hey, you a rapper, young whippersnapper. You ain't been through nothing. Have you ever had to leave the studio? Cause you should've got low. I got doubt in my pinky toe. Hey, did you hear what I said? I took a pocket to pocket. I got doubt in my pinky toe. You a rapper, young whippersnapper. You can't be me.
Leader, they want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Yeah, スライドする。お前の地元にスライドする。
Imagine if my small business blew up overnight and I woke up to some sales. Boost this video so